Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have more battles for you today in the Open Ultra League, and these are my battles. And I battled the trainer that was using this team. Their name was Winter Blue, I believe, and they destroyed me with this team. I'll just be honest about it. So I'm like, I really like that team. I wanted to try it, so I went ahead and used it, and it worked out really well for me. Can't recommend this team enough. Huge shout out to them. Now I don't know if they created the team, if they saw it from somewhere else, but I want to give credit to them because that's why I saw the team and learned about the team. And as I said, it worked out really well for me. We got into the 2600s, and yeah, I mean, we're looking pretty good. Now, I think the only difference was they were running Hex on Gelatin, I'm running Bubble Beam. Both moves are good. Obviously, the Hex is going to be good against the Ghost types like Trevenant, but the Bubble is going to be good against Pidgeot. It's going to be good against the Flying types like Talonflame and Charizard. So both moves are good, whichever one you want to go with. But either way, let's go ahead and dive right into these battles and see what we've got going on for us. We do get off a Shadow Ball into that Swampert, very nice. We bring in Pelipper right now, and they're trying to catch a Weather Ball and Giratina, but we don't throw, so that's amazing for us. We're going to bring in Goliath Stunfisk right now. Just go for the Earthquake. Didn't know if they would shield or not. I thought they might have shielded, but I didn't think it was worth the Rock Slide. They do end up shielding, which is a good shield by them. But do they have Shadow Sneak? If they don't, the other two moves, Dragon Claw and Ancient Power, resisted. They throw Ancient Power, so unless they get a boost, which they don't, it's looking good for us, and they actually concede that game. And that is going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. Moving on, we have Goliath Stunfisk into Cresselia. Okay, so what I noticed about Cresselia is, if they switch out, that tells me they don't have Grass Knot because the other moves are resisted, whereas Grass Knot is neutral damage. But if they stay in and throw, that means they have Grass Knot. So I'm going to go ahead and just charge up and throw the Earthquake into the Cresselia. Now, they may or may not shield. My opponent does end up shielding, but I don't think it's worth the bait. We're just going to throw this Earthquake, and we're just going to continue to throw Earthquakes at this Cresselia. Because Cresselia is so tanky, it could take a couple Earthquakes, so you never know if they're going to shield, right? It's not worth the bait, in my opinion. They're going to be able to throw an attack. Obviously, it's going to be a Grass Knot at us. Totally fine, totally fine. And we're trying to get to another one. They do get to a Grass Knot. We're going to just let it go. Not a big deal. We can survive it. They can't Psycho Cut us down, so we're going to take that. And we do get to this Earthquake. The problem is, not necessarily a problem, but they will be able to reach the Grass Knot before we reach a Rock Slide. So we can either let it go or shield it. I do ultimately decide shielding it. It's not like they could shield and farm down. They would still have to throw another Grass Knot. So we're going to throw this Rock Slide. Could have went up, like, maybe farmed up a little, like a couple more extra, but that's okay. We're going to be able to throw this Rock Slide. And they do bring in Cobalion to farm us down. Now, so Jellicent survives 2 Stone Edge attacks. You need 3 from Cobalion to KO Jellicent because the Double Kick and the Sacred Sword are all double resisted, both double resisted. So, and whereas you only need 2 Shadow Balls to KO the Cobalion. So pretty good matchup here. We're going to be able to throw this Shadow Ball right now. And they're going to be able to get off another Stone Edge. But again, we could survive it, so we're not going to go ahead and shield this. And yep, Stone Edge, totally fine. I'm going to charge up extra. I may have charged up a little bit too much. I thought CMP. Now, I knew this wasn't a Stone Edge. I knew it was a Sacred Sword. But, I guess we didn't have to take it if we threw a turn before. But that's okay. We're gonna take it. Not a big deal. We're going to throw this Shadow Ball. That is going to KO the Cobalion, and they're going to bring in Articuno. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball and then pivot out regardless of if they shield or not. We're going to switch out into Pelipper, and they do go ahead and shield, and we go into Pelipper. Okay, so they do go ahead and throw an Icy Wind, and obviously we're going to be able to take it, right? We're neutral, we take neutral damage. Now, I think I made a mistake here. We're going for the Hurricane, which is not bad, but the problem is we could have thrown a Weather Ball instead of getting double debuffed, right? Now we're double debuffed and throwing the Hurricane. We could have, so we would have been double debuffed regardless of when we threw the Hurricane, but we would have only been single debuffed if we threw the Weather Ball, right? So if I threw the Weather Ball, and then the Hurricane, both of those probably would have KO'd because the Weather Ball would have been single resisted, or it would have done more. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because they're going to be able to KO our Pelipper, and that's fine. And then Jellicent is actually going to be able to bubble down. So it's actually very close. The timer was coming up as well. So, but either way, we're going to be able to win that one. Good game. Again, this is the first time using this team, so it's a learning process. Okay, so Goliath Stunfisk. So in the Great League, a lot of times they do bait. In the Ultra League, I don't expect them to bait because the Earthquake doesn't even come... It does a lot, but it doesn't really come close to KOing, you know what I'm saying? You could survive it. So that's why I do attempt to catch in the Ultra League, and we are successfully able to catch. I don't throw right away because I'm like, I don't want them to catch a weather ball. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this. I do survive a rock slide, but I'll go ahead and shield that anyway. We throw the weather ball right now with my Pelipper. And that is going to connect. Very nice. We're going to be able to throw in CMP. So let's see if they want to shield this or if they want to let this one go. And they do decide to shield it. Okay. What's in the back? Maybe something, or maybe Pokemon that are weak to Pelipper because they're not switching out, which is pretty good. As I said, we can survive and they can't much shot us down, so we're going to stay in. We're going to throw in CMP again, which I believe might be enough to KO the Stunfisk. Is it enough to KO? It is enough to KO. Very nice. So they're going to bring in Pidgeot. Okay. So we're trying to get to Hurricane. We are successfully able to get there. So very nice. Now, I don't anticipate the shield because they know I have a Stunfisk in the back. So they don't shield that. So we bring in Stunfisk. They bring in Scrafty. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Jellicent. Now, this is another good matchup. Well, not a good matchup, but it's a good reason to have Bubble against Scrafty, right? Now, Scrafty, I would say, it's really good. It really is. And this is yet another reason to have Ice Beam. I'm not expecting the shield. They do not shield. They don't need to shield that. And they're going to be able to get off a foul play, but Jellicent is tanky enough to be able to survive 1-1. So we're able to take this totally fine. And they really have to shield this Ice Beam. They know we have Ice Beam. Imagine running Ice Beam, Bubble Beam, and we bait with Bubble Beam now. No, I don't recommend that moveset. You do want the Shadow Ball. They actually don't shield that, which is fine. They're going to be able to get off an attack, but the Galarian Stunfisk has a lot of energy. We're going to be able to throw this attack. So I think I throw this to get the final shield, and then do I Mud Shot down? I think I Mud Shot down. Okay, I do Mud Shot down. I could have thrown a Rock Slide to KO, but I Mud Shot down, and then we throw the Rock Slide into the Pidgeot to KO the Pidgeot, and our Stunfisk would have survived a Brave Bird. So that's going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. We're able to take that one. Absolutely amazing. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We do have Galarian Stunfisk into Walrein. Okay. We'll take this matchup, right? We'll take this matchup. They actually switch. Now, this is where I make a mistake. So I go into Pelipper. I should have went into Jellicent because Jellicent wouldn't have to shield anything, whereas Pelipper has to shield the Rock Slide. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess if they had payback, obviously that would threaten the Jellicent, but we could, I'm sure, can still take it. Yeah, we should have definitely went into Jellicent. That was a huge mistake on my end. Lesson learned, right? So they actually get off another attack. Now, unfortunately, I clicked on my move, so it's going to go ahead and go through, so I can't farm down, which is yet, again, poor timing on my end. We're going to undercharge it, though, so we do get farm. So we do come out with energy, which is really nice. In comes Walrein. We're going to be able to go for this Hurricane right now. We're going to be doing massive amounts of damage to this Walrein if they don't shield. They do not shield the Walrein. And are they going for the farm down? I'm just going to go ahead and throw. Again, maybe a mistake here because, yeah, I do get off some damage, but now they're more likely to go for the farm down, but they're not able to get it. We do get off another Weather Ball. Let's go. We get off another Weather Ball. So that's good for us. Although they do farm us down, but at least we get that off. They bring in Swampert. So we're going to be able to throw this Shadow Ball right now. And the Shadow Ball is going to, is it going to connect? Oh, it's going to connect. It's out of shield. Of course it's going to connect. So they're going to be able to throw an attack at us right now. It's going to be an Earthquake, obviously. And I knew that I switch out. They're going to be able to get off an attack against us. Earthquake is not going to be enough to KO. Yeah, I totally throw this game. We do get off an Earthquake, which is good. This is going to KO, right? This is going to KO. And it does KO the Swampert, but they do farm us down. We can't get off a Rock Slide. Would the Rock Slide have KO'd? I don't think it would have KO'd the Swampert. But yeah, anyway, if we went in with the Jellicent, actually that doesn't KO us, so it's actually close. We get to the move, so it's actually very close. It was actually very close. So we would have had the Pelipper on the Swampert, right? Jellicent would have been on the Machamp, which would have been really nice. Galarian Stunfisk on the Walrein. We would have had a much better time, so that's definitely my bad. I definitely made some mistakes here. But anyway, this is another game. So they bring in Trevenant. So, I mean, I have to come into the Pelipper. Obviously, I can't come in, especially at a disadvantage with Jellicent. But I can't come in anyway with Jellicent. So we do have to come in with Pelipper. We know this is a Seed Bomb. We're going to let this one go. So I'm charging up. I do throw this Hurricane attack because I don't anticipate the shield right now. and they don't shield, so they just let it go, and we get rid of that Trevenant, which is good for us, right? They bring in Cresselia, so we are going to be able to throw the weather balls right now. So we do throw one weather ball. Do I go for a weather ball and then a hurricane? Let's see what I go for. I'm going for the hurricane now. They do throw an attack to prevent me from getting into the hurricane. Okay. Okay, so we force them to throw an attack, so that reveals that they don't have Grass Knot, but unfortunately they have Scrafty in the back. So, but I mean, we had to bring in the Pelipper, right, against the Trevenant. So unfortunately, this is not looking too good for us, because they still have 2 shields, right? They still have 2 shields. I guess throwing the Hurricane against Cresselia would have been good, but even if we did that, we would have landed the damage. They would have been able to KO our Pelipper anyway, and it would still would have been Scrafty on the Jellicent. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below how you would have played this game. You had to go with the Pelipper and Trevenant, right? I mean, you're not gonna stay. You're not gonna stay in, are you? I mean, I guess you could stay in and have the Jellicent on the Cresselia, because if they switch out, as I mentioned early in the video, you do anticipate that they don't have Grass Knot because they're switching out. So maybe I could have done that. We'd have probably lost that matchup though. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. So Giratina, they switch out. That tells me again that they do not have Shadow Sneak because they switched out. Not a guarantee, but that's what I'm leaning towards because they switch out. And again, we do survive 2 Stone Edges. So we're going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball right now. So this Shadow Ball is going to connect, and one more Shadow Ball will be enough to KO. We do survive another Stone Edge. And they're going to go ahead and throw it, but as I said, we do survive it, so we're not going to be able to shield it, or we're not going to shield this. And we do go for the Shadow Ball right now, see if they want to shield, see if they let it go. And they do let it go. Instead of throwing in CMP, should have overfarmed, but that's okay. In comes Giratina. We cannot make it. We barely can't make it. So yeah, if we overfarmed, we would have gotten off that Shadow Ball, which would have been really nice. But in comes Tapu Fini right now. So what we're going to do is charge up to the Hurricane and bait right now. But they actually call the bait. So we throw the Weather Ball. Good call by them. However, we are getting them low, which is good, right? So I do go ahead and shield this. Unfortunately, it's a Surf, so my opponent playing really well. But I'm just going to go ahead and throw... I mean, this could be a Hurricane, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Weather Ball. No reason to throw the Hurricane now. They do go ahead and shield. I'm throwing this, and I know that they know this is going to be a Weather Ball, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it. Totally fine. They do get off an attack. I do go ahead and shield this, hoping that this one is the Moonblast, and it is the Moonblast, so that is good for us. But they bring in Giratina to throw the Ancient Power, so I'm going to be able to take this. Barely, but I do take it. And we switch out. And again, they have Ancient Power, so I assume they have Dragon Claw. Every Giratina has Dragon Claw, and then it's either Ancient Power or Shadow Sneak. Most of the time nowadays, it's Ancient Power. They do shield that. Okay, totally fine. So basically what I want to do is I want to come out with a Rock Slide into that Tapu Fini, right? So they're going to be able to throw an attack at us. So it is Dragon Claw. So we're going to overfarm. We want to make sure they don't attempt to catch. We don't want them to catch. See it. Basically, as I said, I want to make sure I have a Rock Slide ready to go, just in case they try and switch or anything like that. So we need to have a Rock Slide ready to go. They're out of energy with Tapu Fini. We need to have a Rock Slide. So there they go, attempting to maybe catch the Earthquake, but they're not going to be able to, and we do have that Rock Slide to KO the Tapu Fini, and then we're going to be able to get to an Earthquake against the Giratina to KO the Giratina. So that's going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. So yeah, I can't wait to try out this team some more. Yes, we made some mistakes. It's my initial time using the team, first couple of sets using the team, but we still did really well, and I'm still excited to try out this team even further. So we have Glorious Stunfisk into Miltank. Okay, so it either has Thunderbolt or Ice Beam, and obviously Body Slam. They switch out, but the thing is, like, so I'm assuming they have Ice Beam because most do have Ice Beam from my experience. Obviously with the Flyers, they could be running Thunderbolt, but Ice Beam is still good against like Pidgeot. So I do expect it. So I'm saving the Jellicent for to have for the Miltank, right? So we're going to be able to go for the Rock Slide into this Gyarados. I'm just going to stay in again. I mean, I have to stay in against this Gyarados. They do go ahead and throw an attack, and I do go ahead and shield it. I think I continue to farm up. And no, actually throw it. Okay, so I throw a CMP, I guess, hoping to get it off first, but good counting by them. But they let it go, totally fine. They're going to bring in Miltank. So this is totally fine because we survive an Ice Beam. Certainly survive a Thunderbolt, but they're going to reveal what move they have now, and it is going to be an Ice Beam. That's good to know. Obviously, they have Bubble Beam, so we're going to go ahead and go for this Earthquake right now. And this Earthquake is going to do a good amount of damage, and we can actually get to another attack. They can't roll out us down. Maybe I should have went for an Earthquake, but I'm like, they're going to throw before I get off the Earthquake. Might as well get us some chip damage. And again, even if they farm us down, we don't really have to worry about it with Jellicent, and they're not going to farm us down. And we could probably bubble them down as well, right? So we're going to bring in the Jellicent here. And they do bring in their Charizard, and they just concede there, but we had a Pelipper chilling in the back, so we were looking pretty good. Good game. We're going up against Swampy, a really strong trainer. Cobalion Lee, definitely a bad matchup for us. We're going to go ahead and go into Pelipper right now. Obviously, Cobalion has Stone Edge, so we do have to be careful of that, so I am going to go ahead and respect that. Hopefully, he does not bait against us, and he does not. That is his Stone Edge. So we're going to go ahead and switch into the Giratina right now. So if Giratina came in, doesn't mean it has ancient power. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Hurricane. He's going to let it go. Totally fine. He's going to go ahead and throw an attack. Let's see what it has. I know I live an ancient power, and he does not have ancient power, which is good. He throws another Dragon Claw. I'm going to let it go. So, you know, I expected him to actually shield this attack, but I'm going to go ahead and not bait anyway on the off chance he does not shield it. And he actually doesn't shield it. So that connects. We're going to be able to take Switch, and we're going to have Jellicent on this Cobalion, which is ultimately what we want, right? We don't want Galarian Stunfisk on it. We're going to throw the Weather Ball, get some good damage, really good damage. I don't know what that was about, but we do bring in Jellicent. They're going to switch into Galarian Stunfisk. So I'm like, this is kind of tough. We're going to throw the Shadow Ball here. He does let it go, and then we're going to go into our own Stunfisk. He is way ahead on energy, which is not great for us. I'm going to let it go. But as I mentioned earlier in the video, we survive this more comfortably than we do in the Great League, right? So we're going to be able to throw this Rock Slide right now. We do pick up a shield. Very nice. And he's going to throw an attack. Do I let this go? Yeah, I do let it go. If it's a Rock Slide, it doesn't KO. It's an Earthquake, so it does KO us. So we bring in Jellicent right now, and I'm like, maybe if I bubble down the Galarian Stunfisk, can we do that? Obviously, Bubble is better than Hex against Galarian Stunfisk. He throws a Rock Slide. He's trying to get me in Stone Edge range, which is a good play. So he's going to be able to throw another Rock Slide, and I want to bubble down, but he switches out, and I do go ahead and throw this Shadow Ball. Now, I know he's not at enough for another attack. He lets that go, actually. Which doesn't KO, which is a little bit unfortunate just in case. But even, honestly, a Rock Slide doesn't KO us. So we're able to bubble down the Galarian Stunfisk and take that game. And that is going to be a great game and a great video. I believe that's the last video. Yes, it definitely is the last battle. And I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.